this is a huge story. I was talking about this in the opening. This is X and Rumble getting together and doing some stuff. Y'all, this is big. This is very, very big. And there's portions of this in the news media right now, in the mainstream media, that you'll hear about things going on with Google. But you won't hear specifically about this stuff. And we're going to talk about that real quick, jumping right on in here. So this is from X, and I'm specifically sharing the one from Elon Musk because, it's Elon Musk. Everyone who has been boycotted should file a lawsuit in every country they've been boycotted. What are you talking about, Elon? What's going on? So he is sharing this from Rumble, which I love them. I do. I love them. Free speech platform. X, free speech platform. Now, nothing is going to ever be perfectly free speech, wide open free speech. There's always got to be some kind of moderation for multiple reasons, whether it be ad friendly, whether it be, to stay on the Play Store or the App Store or whatever, so you can continue to have your product out there. You've always got to make some compromises, I guess. But for the most part, you're talking about two of the biggest free speech platforms in existence right now. The town halls, so to speak, these opportunities for people like me to get my message out, whatever this message is, whatever you want to call it. But it allows me to have stuff like this going on and getting out in the world. So let's look at this one. Breaking: Rumble has joined X to sue a cartel of advertisers and ad agencies who conspire to block ad revenue from going to certain platforms and content creators. GARM was a conspiracy to perpetrate an advertiser boycott on Rumble and others, and that is illegal. I just love it. Look at those two together, Rumble and X. It's good stuff right there, guys. Good stuff. Let's continue to another one. Again, shared by Elon Musk from Chris Pavlovsky. Chris, I can say your name normal. 24/7, all day, every day. Why am I not able to say it now? Obviously, I got the Chris part down. Pavlovsky. Oh, man, I don't know why I'm messing it up. Sorry, dude. Love you, man. Love what you're doing. Elon Musk says, time to air the dirty laundry. Pavlovsky says, today at 1:30 p.m. Eastern time on Fox Business, I'm going public with some of the advertisers who have openly told us they don't want to reach half of the USA. I'll be dropping receipts on X and possibly adding advertisers to our lawsuit. Oh, snap, girlfriend. Well, let's see the video. Is it up here? Can I watch it? I think I can. Let's check it out. It is 5 minutes and 31 seconds long. I have not watched it. I will hit play, and I shall monitor this to see if we need to fast forward or just cut it.
Welcome back. A group of social media companies led by Elon Musk's X are suing an advertising trade group for what they're calling an illegal boycott. One of those companies joining the lawsuit is online video sharing platform Rumble, one of YouTube's largest competitors. Their CEO, Chris Pavlovsky, joins us now. Chris, explain to me in layman's terms what this is all about. It gets a little complicated and in the weeds, but from your perspective, what is at issue here?
Thanks for having me on. So what's happening right now, I guess the simplest way to put it, if you're an advertiser and you don't want to advertise on Rumble or X, that's totally fine. You have the option to do that. But the problem happens when you have a consortium or a group like the World Federation of Advertisers, or in their group that they created called GARM, which then assembles all these advertisers in a...
That's kind of jacked up, wasn't it? Having the stock right next to them. When, to be fair, the entire stock market is having a hard time. It's not a Rumble thing. Rumble's doing fine. But yeah, their stock is going down because everybody else's stock is going down. So that was kind of a hit there that I didn't like. Don't do that to my boy. And it took up more screen than his face. Look at his face. He's a good looking guy. Let's open that up a little bit. Let's see it.
Agencies which creates a huge amount of power for these for GARM to basically instruct these companies on whether or not and how they want to deploy brand safety standards. So what happens here is once you have a huge consortium that creates a monopoly across all the big ad budgets that dictate a brand safety standard, they then can now discriminate against certain voices on other platforms. If they don't like what some speech might happen on Rumble or X, they can say, we're not going to touch that, which then causes advertising rates to go higher because now they're only accessing a certain portion of the market, and then drives higher prices for their shareholders and their brands. This harms the advertisers, the shareholders. It creates higher fees for the agencies, and also harms Rumble creators and Rumble viewers and the Rumble platform.
Chris, I get why you don't like it, and I think it's foolish for these companies to avoid platforms like Rumble or X.
Yeah.
But I don't understand how it's illegal. Tell me why this is a legal
All right, so this will be good.
Yeah, so when you have a monopoly and you create a monopoly by assembling all this power and control to dictate a certain standard of how you're going to spend that money, that's not a free market. The Sherman Act does not allow that. So that's illegal. There's different rules and standards when you're a monopoly. And what the World Federation of Advertisers has done is they created a monopoly to basically tell a monopoly to tell all these advertisers how they should spend money based on certain speech. So you can't use the First Amendment in a way by having a monopoly to dictate how you're going to deploy funds. This is harmful to their advertisers. It's harmful to the Rumble creators, and it's basically there's a completely different set of rules when you're a monopoly, and that's how you have to look at this. They've monopolized the ad budgets.
Speaking of monopolies, the landmark antitrust case that we were looking at, I believe it was on Monday, is the big DOJ's case against Google, really effectively calling them a monopoly in that ruling, and sort of the next.
And they are. I mean, think about Google, right? Don't get me wrong. I like Google to a degree for what the products that they provide are great. I mean, I know it's like, oh, they're getting your data. Oh, they're biased. And stuff. Yeah. And I like to use alternative platforms, as you have noticed. But I like the idea behind the technology, right? You got search engines, you got browsers, you've got even operating systems, you got cell phones that all run off of it. I mean, it's really good system that they have in place, and it works very well if you can forgive, some of the political stuff and the agenda stuff that they push out there. But yeah, I mean, it's absolutely, I mean, think about it. I mean, Google controls anything that goes on. Basically, half the phones out there are Android, the other half are Apple. And if you don't appease the Google gods, you're off search engine results, you're off YouTube results, you're off the Play Store, your app doesn't work, whatever. There's so many ways they can control that. Apple is the same way. Not as big as Google, and as far as the whole overall picture goes, I don't think. Operating system, phones, their app store, sure. But not a lot of people are going to Apple to do searches and stuff like that. Google is kind of the king as far as that goes. So yeah, it's absolutely a monopoly. I don't think we're going to play any more of this video. We'll go ahead and go to this next tweet or X or whatever you want to call it. But I think you get the point here. Yeah, Google has gotten too big for their britches, and they're utilizing the advertisers to hurt their competition. And Chris Pavlovsky, see what I did there? I got it, nailed it. Chris, hit me up, buddy. We'll talk. But Chris over here, he's calling them out. Look at this post right here. Both, I guess that's Diego or Diageo. Not gonna work here anymore. Both that and Dunkin' Donuts want us to drop S. Crowder. Who was that? Steven Crowder. One of their biggest shows on their platform. One of the biggest, if not the biggest, conservative show out there. Phenomenal. Not only that, not only is Steven Crowder with Louder with Crowder one of the biggest shows out there, but they've got Mug Club that have so many people on board not just in supporters, but they're creators, right? They're content creators, the people that are on there, the people that you're getting access to. Phenomenal. I mean, what a community, what a network, what a platform within a platform almost, right? All built on the Rumble platform. Thank God that we have alternatives out there besides these big monopoly organizations. So yeah, they want them to drop Steven Crowder and get away from right-wing culture in order to get ad dollars from them. My response, no, we don't discriminate. All cultures are welcome on Rumble, which is an interesting thing to say because it's a true thing to say. All cultures, all perspectives, all political alignments are welcome on Rumble, and they are all treated equally. This goes back to a conversation I was having in, I think it was the previous segment. Conservatives, by and large, tend to be more fair and allow opposing voices, echo chamber voices, whatever, all across the board. Liberals seem to only like voices that sound like theirs, people that look like them, situations that match what they want. Like they have to have it their way. And that's what we're seeing. And again, you got conservative folks. Again, I've only hit like the phase 1, so to speak, of monetization on YouTube. And I was approved for it pretty quickly. I mean, things were going really smoothly. And then I've got an old video that got hit with not a strike, but it was a community warning or whatever you want to call it. They took the video down. So now I'm up under the microscope more, and I am a conservative channel. So with that and being an election year, I can only imagine the scrutiny my channel is going to be under on YouTube. That's why I am on these alternative platforms. And when I do go live, which I mentioned in another segment, hopefully first Monday of September will be my first live stream. My plan is to go live on YouTube and Rumble both. And then I will probably drop YouTube and continue streaming on Rumble to talk about the less, googly friendly stuff. Because again, Rumble does support the free speech. But YouTube has a larger net to cast to reach a larger audience, which is my goal. Not necessarily for the subs and the likes and the comments, but I want to reach more people. I want more people to get this information, like this story right here, that you're not getting on CNN, MSNBC, and all these other guys. Unless you're watching folks like me, Third Relify, The Washcast, Steven Crowder, of course, the Quartering. There's several in this hemisphere that are doing it, but if you're not watching us, you're not getting this news. And that's why it's important to watch us and support us in any way that you can. And again, all I ever ask is if you like the video, give it a like. If you want to share it, comment, subscribe, whatever. I don't need your money. I'm not asking for your money. I'm not, want you to, put up billboards in your community to support my channel, anything like that. If you like what I do, support me in the free stuff, the likes, the subscribes, whatever, and tell your friends. That's cool. And guess what? If you don't want to do that, that's fine. You're still welcome back here as long as you want to come. I can't ban block you or whatever. I mean, I guess there's ways I could probably do that. Maybe I don't know how all that works. So I would never do that anyway, but yeah, all are welcome here. People that agree with me, people that disagree with me. I don't care. I just want to get this kind of messaging out there so people are more aware of what's going on. So we already spoke earlier about brands in Hollywood supporting the agenda and losing out on billions, right? If we make note of these companies that don't want to advertise on free speech or heavily conservative platforms, and we start supporting alternatives instead of these guys, obviously we can make a huge difference. Look what we did to Bud Light. Look what we did to Target, right? And a lot of these places or companies are changing course. Look at Marvel. All the bombs that they put out that just tanked because of, their messaging and agendas and just DEI this and that and blah, 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 blah. Look at Deadpool and Wolverine. They just put out a really good movie, and guess what? Blowing up the box office, destroying records at the box. I mean, we are very impactful when we want to be. So redirect your spending dollars away from some of these folks. I forget the name of the app. I think it's the is it the Veep app or something like that? Sorry, I don't have that pulled up. It just crossed my mind. I know Jeremy over at The Quartering has talked about it multiple times. You probably know what I'm talking about if you ever watch him. But there's an app that you can put on your phone. You can like scan barcodes and pull up different vendors and brands and stuff. And it will tell you how woke they are, what their messaging is, or how they align and stuff like that. And it's supposed to be really, really cool. You know, so if you're not already consciously aware of some of these that get called out on a regular basis, you can use an app like that to help you out and stay informed and quit supporting folks that don't support you and what you believe. I think that's perfectly fine. I understand we're not always going to be on the same page, and I don't have a problem supporting again or shopping with somebody that I disagree with. I do have a problem with someone who wants to attack me, who wants to take my rights away, who wants to silence me or silence people that I support, you know, and going against our inalienable rights. That's where I have the problem. That's where you lose my support. If we just disagree, I mean, we can still do business. We can still be friends. It's all good. But I think everyone has a line. And I think being informed is a wonderful, wonderful thing. So I do think these guys, excuse me, are backing the wrong horse. We're the ones, again, that are out here shopping and keeping these companies going. If they don't want to be associated with us, why should we be loyal to them? This is a culture war, and one side is letting the other side win. Again, I think we're being a little bit too nice with all this. However, the few times we stood our ground, we saw the impact that we made. We have the power. You have the power to shape the future. Support free speech, or sit back and watch it being slowly taken away from you. Think about it. With that said, I do highly recommend supporting X and Rumble. Join for free, watch videos, interact with posts, make brands desperate to advertise on these platforms. We can win this culture war. You can already see the tide shifting, right? The tides are turning here. Keep that momentum. Keep driving. Keep pushing. We can change the course of things. We need to. This is the culture war that we're in right now. Again, I don't ask you to do this often, but when I do break up this show into the segments, and this segment comes out by itself, I do ask that if it struck a nerve and you can get on board with it, I do ask that you consider sharing it. It's free to do. It's easy to do. Share it with friends, share it with family, share it with somebody you think is going to get something out of it. We have to get this information out there. This is how we open people's minds. This is the true woke. This is how people truly are woke, by being educated or exposed to stuff they haven't been before. And we're not getting that from our news. We're not getting that from our politicians. We're not getting those from reliable sources. We're having to dig for it. You found me. You found Crowder. You found The Quartering. You found Third Relify. You found, all these guys. Help other people find us. We're trying to do our best. I promise. I'm not trying to mislead anybody or take advantage of anybody. I'm just out here trying to spread this information. Again, you're not going to see this battle for free speech being fought out in public. That's the whole point. You're not going to see it being fought in the public. It's going to be fought in the shadows. But you have the ability to cast a light on it. So again, consider sharing the video. Consider checking out some of these other folks that I mentioned, especially Steven Crowder. Does a great job over there. And yeah, I'm really excited about the direction that we're moving in. What do you guys think?
Hey guys, thanks for checking out this clip from the Morning Mayhem. Remember, this is just a portion of the full show that comes out every Friday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. If you hadn't already, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the full shows or these tasty little nuggets.